The ambulance screeched to a halt. Red and blue lights reflected off the wet pavement. Paramedics rushed forward and then stopped in their tracks. In the middle of the alley, kneeling in the pouring rain, was a homeless man. His hair was soaked, water dripping from his chin. His hands pressed down hard on the chest of a man in a $1,000 suit. He counted out loud between each push, voice trembling, breath visible in the freezing air. That man in the suit was about to change his life forever. But here's the thing. The homeless man had no idea who he was saving. Just 2 hours earlier, Daniel sat curled against a cold brick wall, his back aching from days of sleeping rough. A piece of cardboard was all that separated him from the icy ground. The rain slid down the side of the building, forming a small stream that trickled past his feet. His stomach growled. He hadn't eaten a proper meal in 2 days. Every passing pedestrian kept their eyes fixed on their glowing phone screens, stepping around him without a glance. To most people, he was invisible. But that night, fate had something else in store. Daniel's eyes were heavy, his body tired from the cold. Then, from the edge of his vision, he saw movement. A tall man in a black overcoat, walking unsteadily toward the alley. The man's face was pale, almost gray under the flickering streetlight. His steps slowed, his hand pressed tightly to his chest. And then with a heavy, echoing thud, he collapsed onto the wet ground. Daniel's heart kicked into overdrive. He didn't think. He ran. The rain hit him like needles as he dropped to his knees beside the stranger. No phone, no training, just instinct. He placed the heel of his palm on the man's chest, interlocked his fingers, and began pressing down. 1, 2, 3, 4. He counted each push in a low, steady voice, willing the man to breathe. The water pooled around them, soaking through Daniel's thin jacket. His arms screamed with pain. His breath came in gasps, but he refused to stop. Somewhere in the distance, sirens wailed, growing closer. Finally, bright lights washed over the alley, and paramedics burst in with equipment. "Step back, sir," one of them said, but Daniel stayed for a moment longer, his eyes locked on the man's face. A sharp gasp of air escaped the stranger's lips. He was breathing. Daniel stumbled backward, exhausted, his knees aching from the cold pavement. The paramedics loaded the man into the ambulance, and without asking his name, without waiting for a thank you, Daniel turned and walked back to his piece of cardboard. 3 days passed. The rain had stopped, but the cold still clung to the air. Daniel sat in his usual spot, head down, when a sleek black car pulled up to the curb. Its polished surface reflected the city lights like a mirror. The door opened slowly. Out stepped the same man. Only now, he wasn't pale or weak. He wore a perfectly tailored suit, his hair neat, his eyes full of life. He walked toward Daniel with a quiet smile. "My name is Richard Hale," he said, "and I wouldn't be alive without you." Daniel blinked in disbelief as Richard handed him a thick envelope. Inside, a set of keys, a folded letter, and a business card. Richard explained. It was the key to a fully furnished apartment. The letter was a formal job offer at his company. Daniel's hands shook. He hadn't saved the man for a reward. He had done it because kindness was all he had left to give. And somehow, it gave him everything in return. Sometimes the smallest act of compassion becomes the turning point in someone's life. Daniel had no home, no status, no wealth. But when it mattered most, he had courage. And that courage saved a life. If this story touched you, share it. Let kindness go further than we can imagine. And if you believe the world needs more of this, subscribe. Together we can make kindness go viral.